Hey guys, how's it going? Today I got a new Magic deck to show you guys. This is a Commander deck. It's also a Singleton deck, so it's 100 cards. 99 cards plus the Commander, which is a legendary creature that basically all the cards in your deck has to share a color with the Commander. That's how Commander works. So yeah, this is a custom deck box here, 100 cards, or it actually fits more than that, but yeah, 100 cards in here. I'm gonna show you guys what I have in here. Basically my deck is green-white, and I just put a bunch of cool creatures and stuff. Actually, it's all creatures. I don't have any other non-creature spells and stuff. It's yeah, every creature is a rare or a mythic, and every creature has 2 colored mana symbols in its mana cost or less. I don't have any with 3. That's because if you have 3 or more, then it can be kind of difficult to cast it. So yeah, basically I have all rare creatures in here from green and white. Let's take a look. Okay, so first I have Troll Ascetic, very efficient creature here. Let's put it. That's why I put it here. Eldritch Scion. I have some multicolored cards in here. This is a really cool creature as well. 5 mana for 4 trample. Lifelink. Spells that target cost 2 less to cast that I target. Well, I don't have any spells here, but if they try to remove it, then it costs 2 more. Baneslayer Angel, pretty awesome. It was a pretty high value card when it came out, I think. 5 mana, 5/5. Flying, First Strike, Lifelink, protection from demons and dragons. Lots of abilities, very efficient card. Then I have Iron Viper. I love the design of this card. One of my favorite designs ever. 3 mana, 1/3. When it deals damage to a creature, that creature dies. When it deals damage to a player, draw a card. So either way, it does something when it deals damage. This is actually, I think, the first rare I ever got in Magic before. Because when I first started playing Magic, Judgment came out. That's the set here, Judgment. And this is one of the starter deck boxes that I bought. So this is actually the first Magic rare I ever had, is this card here, which is pretty cool. Yeah, 1 mana, give anything +5/+5, which is a lot. And then Nantuko Mentor, similar to the guy I just had, my friend. He always played with it like, well, actually my friend had like a Goblin deck, but he used to play with a Nantuko deck as well, like a Phantom deck, and use this guy as well. It's 3 mana, double target creatures. Double target creature attack and toughness based on that creature's power. Then you got Elvish Piper, who is also one of my good cards from back then. 1 mana, tap, put any creature from my hand into play. Since I have a lot of big creatures in this deck, it's pretty useful. But it's just only a 1/1, so you gotta watch out for it. But still, putting any creature from your hand to play for 1 mana is awesome if it survives the turn. Exalted Angel, one of my favorite cards as well. 6 mana, 4/5, deals it's lifelink basically, and it's morph, so you can morph it on turn 4. So it's a pretty cool card. I love the art on it. Sublime Archangel, 4 mana, 4/3. Basically gives all your creatures exalted, including this one. Forgotten Ancient is this one, I believe, is alright, this card, I believe people actually created this card, and then Wizards actually made it. So this is actually a user created card here. Forgotten Ancient, 0/3 looks weak, but every time a player casts a spell, and this is great in multiplayer games, whenever a player casts a spell, you put a +1/+1 counter, and then every turn you move it to other creatures. So this is pretty awesome. I know that a lot of Selesnya decks use +1/+1 counters and stuff. Persist creature decks use it. So yeah, definitely very useful. This can get very big. Aegis Angel, so 6 mana, 5/5 flying. When it comes into the play, you can make anything else, not just creatures. Another permanent is indestructible as long as you control this. Use it to protect a lot of stuff. In this deck, I guess it's just creatures. Yes, you can protect lands too, but not really. I have dual lands here as well. Vengevine, 4/3 haste. When I cast a spell, if it's the second creature spell I cast, and that's pretty likely considering this whole deck is creatures, it comes back from the graveyard onto the battlefield. And it has haste, so it can attack the same turn. Moon Crusader is awesome. 3 mana for 2/2 double strike. Protection black and green. I always like protection from 2 colors in double strike. Oh, by the way, guys, every creature in this deck is different. I don't have any repeating creatures. That's to make the gameplay more interesting, to have something different basically every time. So yeah, this is pretty efficient. 3 mana, 2/2 double strike and protection 2 colors. Alright, let's go. Scavenging Ooze, great multiplayer card. 2 mana, 2/2, 1 mana to exile a card from graveyard, and if it's a creature, this becomes bigger, I gain a life. Creeper Hulk, 5 mana, 5/5, trample. 2 mana to make anything else a 5/5 and gain trample. So basically anything else itself. Just cool, like Elvish Piper, for example, is a 1/1. If I want to protect it more, I can make it a 5/5 with just 2 mana. Can do it anytime. This card, 4 mana, 2/2, prevent all damage that would be dealt to it, which is pretty awesome. Basically nothing can really hurt this. You have to use the destroy effect to kill it. Oversoul Dusk is 5 mana, 5/5, protection from 3 colors, blue, black, and red. That's pretty efficient and awesome. Blinding Angel is pretty cool. 5 mana, 2/4, flying. Whenever it deals damage to a player, that player skips the next combat phase. So this can actually lock down another deck if they have no way to remove this. So they can never attack again, basically. Primera Hydra, X +1/+1 counters, and every turn it doubles it and has trample as long as it's 10 or more. I think this is one of the best Hydras. Thornling, it's kind of like a spin-off of Morphling here. 4/4, you need a lot of green mana, but you can get haste, trample, and indestructible. This one's awesome, indestructible. And of course you can pump it, so that's a pretty cool card. I think that's a mythic, yep. Adakar Valkyrie, this is a pretty cool card. 6 mana, 4/5. Flying Vigilance, then tap. Whenever another creature dies, then return that card to the battlefield. So basically, it doesn't die. So that can cause a lot of issues, I guess. So you can't really kill. I guess you can't really kill another creature as long as this is on the field. Glory, this is pretty awesome. 5 mana, 3/3, flying. 3 mana, every creature you control gain protection from the color of your choice. Make all your creatures almost invincible. And you can do that multiple times too. It's 3 mana. But this has to die first. This is pretty cool. 6 mana, 7/2. It doesn't have much health, but when it dies, it automatically returns to the battlefield tapped next turn. Sir Avenger is cool. 2 mana, 3/3. The only drawback is you can't cast it during your first, second, or third turns, which I don't care too much about. But 2 mana for 3/3 Flying Vigilance is awesome. 2 mana for 3/3 again. Fleece main line, except this one, you can pay 5 mana to give a +1/+1, and it becomes hexproof and indestructible, which makes it almost impossible to kill, basically. The only way you would be able to remove that is if you put a mass effect spell that has -1/-1 counters. Otherwise, hexproof and indestructible pretty much means you can't kill it, ever. Alright, so Warden of the First Tree is kind of like a Figure of Destiny parody here. So 1/1, 2 mana to make a 3/3. Then if it's a 3/3, you basically can sink your mana into this to make it whatever you want. So then it becomes, if it's a 3/3, then it becomes like a 3/3 trample lifelink if you pay 4. Then if it's trample lifelink, you can pay 6 mana to make it an 8/8 trample lifelink. Alright. Alright, so Blade Paladin is 3 mana, 2/2. You can pair it with another creature to give both of them double strike. So this way I have double strike, that creature with double strike, pretty useful. Great Sable Stag, I like protection, creatures with protection on it. So 3 mana, 3/3, can't be countered, protection blue and black, so pretty bad against, pretty good against blue decks. Yeah, pretty bad for them. Phantom Natuku is a cool card as well, from my childhood. 3 mana, comes to play 2/2, trample. When it deals damage, you remove a +1/+1 counter instead of just killing it, and then you can tap it to put on a +1/+1 counter. So basically, as long as you're just doing single damage to it every time, it can't really be killed. You can always just tap to put another one on it, so you have to remove it somehow. Hard to remove it. This is 3 mana, you can tap to remove anything from the game. Basically a built-in Vindicate, even better than Vindicate because it gets removed. Hooded Hydra X +1/+1 counter. When it dies, you get a 1/1 green snake for each +1/+1 counter on it, and you can morph it. Paladin on Vec, kind of like the Mirror Crusader, except it has first strike instead of double strike. But yeah, 3 mana, 2/2, first strike, pro black, pro red. This is kind of Black Knight and White Knight combined into one creature. No, Black Knight and Silver Knight. I think that's right. Yeah, Silver Knight combined into one creature. Okay, this is cool card as well. 6 mana, 5/7. Can't be countered. So it's great against blue. Flying lifelink, and your opponents can't cast spell during your turn. Pretty awesome creature. Armada Worm. They have 6 mana for 5/5 trample. When it comes into play, you get a 5/5 green worm creature token with trample in the battlefield. So you get another one of these. That's cool. All for 6 mana. Lieutenant Qatar is pretty cool. I used to have a bird deck and I had this guy in it. 3 mana 2/2 flying. The cool thing is you can tap. This one you don't need to tap it actually. You can do this anytime you have mana. Just 2 mana, sacrifice it to remove any attacking creature from the game, which is awesome. Okay, so Phyto Hydra here. This is 5 mana for just a 1/1, but anytime it's dealt damage, it doesn't really receive any damage. Instead, it becomes stronger. So this makes it really hard to kill. So that's cool. And then Tozmir Wolfblood, 6 mana 3/4. I think this could be my commander. Yeah, this guys could be one of the commanders in this deck. A lot of commander options. Dragon Lord Jamoka is another one. This guy's another one. Basically pumps up all my other green and white creatures. Tap to put a legendary 2/2 into play. Laval the Preserver, 6 mana 5/5 flying. Enters battlefield, has more life than me. Gain 5 life. If they have more creatures, then I get 3/3. Angel with flying. So good when you're behind on the board. Thick Yellow Elemental's cool. 4/4 when it comes with kicker. So kicker is additional cost you pay when you play it. Basically when you kick it, the next creature that comes up out of my, like from the top of my deck, I get it into play for free. So that's pretty cool. This is basically 2 mana for the next creature from my deck into the battlefield, which is awesome. Saber-Tooth Neshoba would be great if it was this one. 6 mana 5/5 trample, pro blue, pro red. Just I like creatures that basic, simple, efficient, like that. Penumbra Worm is also really cool. 7 mana 6/6 trample. It's put into a graveyard. I get another 6/6 with trample. So yeah, that's cool. Basically, it comes up, another shadow of itself comes up, so that's cool. And then Albion Hydra, toughness equal to a number of lands I control. Then it enters the battlefield, I get another land. It's not even a basic land; it's any land, so it could be non-basic as well. So that's cool, and has reach. That's awesome. Let's go for the rest. Phantom Neshoba is one of my favorite cards from back in the day too. 7 mana, 7/7 trample basically, and it's lifelink. And if it's dealt damage, then I remove one. So it's like a phantom ability. It's gonna be pretty hard to kill. So it's a first time it gets damage, 6/6. It's 5/5, then it's 4/4. All right, 3 mana, 5/5. Death Touch Indestructible. What a combination. Yeah, it's a good chance I'll have a creature of power 4 or greater in this deck, but if I don't, then I can just pump something up and make it gain trample. So it's like an enchantment kind of creature as well, but it's pretty awesome. Yeah. Bonus, Locksmith Smarter, 3 mana for 4/4, it can't be countered. And for spell ability, this card, okay, that one's not really that useful, but yeah, 3 mana for 4/4 is pretty good. Then I got Sigarda, this 5 mana 5/5. Flying, hexproof, and spells and abilities. My opponents can't cause me to sacrifice permanents. Right, but anyways, 5 mana for a 5/5 flying hexproof is already pretty good. Seraph the Sword. It's 4 mana 3/3 flying. It's kind of similar to Chomano, except it's only combat damage that'd be prevented, which means that you can just lightning bolt it and it would die. But still, combat damage that would be prevented is actually pretty cool as well. That's good. Battle Grace Angel, 5 mana 4/4 flying exalted, and when attacks alone gains lifelink, gets +1/+1 and gets lifelink, so that's good. Verdant Sun's Avatar, 7 mana 5/5. It has a built-in angelic chorus, so whenever this or another creature enters the battlefield, it gain life to that creature's toughness. Mirror Weatherlight Duelist, okay, 3 mana 3/2. First strike. Whenever attacks, each opponent can't block more than one creature, and if it's tapped, no more than one creature can attack me. That's quite interesting. Okay, I have this 1/1 here. Target creature you control fights another target creature. Fights means that each of them deal damage equal to their power to each other. So it's kind of like indirect combat. It's kind of like indirect combat, but you can choose which creatures can do it. So this can be useful if I want to take out like a small guy or a certain guy on their side of the field. I can do it. Savvy Airstalk, 2 mana 2/2. Sacrifice. When something dies, basically I return it back to play. Very useful. They have Throne the Last Troll, 4 mana 4/4, can't be countered, hexproof basically, and 2 mana regenerate. Very, very hard to kill and get rid of. It's a really good guy. And then High Shoot on here, I can morph it for 3 mana. Trample, this is very useful because whenever it deals combat damage, I can draw a card. Even if it does 1 point of trample damage, I can still draw a card, which is awesome. Then I have another guy, it's kind of like Tolsmere Wolf's Blood. Costs less mana though. 4 mana for 4, pumps up all my green and white creatures, and then the Loxodon thing, discard ability. Mystic Enforcer, 4 mana 3/3, pro black, threshold, so if it has more than 7 cards in my graveyard, it's a pretty good chance. 6/6 flying, pro black basically. That's good. Honor Hydra, 6 mana 6/6 trample, and then has this is basically flashback for creatures. So yeah, Embalm is basically flashback for creatures. It comes, you create a token that's a copy of it, 6/6, and it's a white. Yeah, it doesn't really matter that much. Commander Isha is one of my favorite creatures as well. It's 4 mana for 2/4 flying. Protection from creatures means it can't be dealt damage, blocked, or targeted by creatures. So they can still burn this with a spell. They can still target it with a. So it's different from protection from a color. So it's still vulnerable to spells, but for creatures and stuff, yeah, that makes it basically invulnerable to creatures. So I like this card. Very, very well designed. I wish they would reprint it. Then I have Erishin Sovereign, 7 mana 6/6. When it dies, I can put it either on the top or the bottom of my library. So also very hard to kill. Archon Justice, 5 mana for flying. Then when it dies, something gets exiled. So similar to the Mangara's ability, I guess. And then Loxodon Hierarch, 4 mana for 4, comes into play, gain 4 life. 2 mana to regenerate each creature I control. Alright, and that's nice to have that as well. 3 mana, Phoenix Slayer Paladin, 2/2. Similar to Paladin on Vec, I guess. First strike, not protection, just can't be targeted of black or red spells. So it's not quite as good as protection, but it has lifelink. Then I have Izao, can't be countered. Bushido, so when it blocks, becomes blocked, it becomes a 4/3. Then I pay 2 mana to regenerate it. So that's pretty cool. Veritas, 5 mana, 5/3. When it comes to play, gain 5 life, and then when it dies, you get a 3/3. Useful. That's very good value, actually. It's only 5 mana, and you get basically 8/6 worth of stats and 5 life. Okay, ratings, you got 2 mana, 2/1, built-in naturalize. Doesn't you have to tap, just built-in naturalize. That's good. Master Wild Hunt, 4 mana, 3/3. Every upkeep, I get a 2/2. I can tap to deal damage equal to number of wolves. Okay, just every turn I get a 2/2 is already pretty good. This could also be my commander as well. Galactique. 2/2. Non-creature spells convey mana cost from 4 or greater can't be played. That does not affect me at all. It only affects other people, so that's good. Since I don't have any non-creatures in this deck. X mana cost. Yeah, I don't have any non-creatures in this deck, so this would be a good commander to play. Very early game play and disrupts the board a lot. So I like that. Mirror Entity, 3 mana 1/1. This is every creature type, and I can tap however much mana I want to make every creature I control become that much. So I can tap 5 mana, every creature I control is 5/5. It's very good. Now, of course, Voice of Resurgence. This has a lot of text, but basically, whenever someone casts a spell on my turn, when an opponent casts a spell on my turn, then I get a token with power and toughness equal to number of creatures I control, like a Beast of Burden or a Scion of the Wild. Yeah, Scion of the Wild. And then when this dies, then I get one of those tokens as well. So it's very good. All right, that's it. That's my green-white commander deck. 100 cards. I have a few choices for a commander. It's probably going to be Galactique, though. And yeah, that's my green-white commander deck. Just full of interesting creatures.